Everybody, it's Tyler here once again at the Lakeshore Qualifier in Wisconsin, checking in team number 5486. Robotics Turmoil coming in from Lake Linden, Michigan, up in the UP. Excited to have them down here as well. And today I'm here with Siona and Gabriel. We're going to be talking about this robot that they've brought in from the 2020 season, a couple modifications for it, talking about their intake, of course, interior, the indexer, and shooter, all coming up here on Behind the Bumpers.
Giving you a voice.
Making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
We'd like to thank Stryker for their continued support of First Updates Now. Stryker's internship portal is now open and available. Discover internships and rotational programs located around the world, including their headquarters in Michigan, when you go to careers.stryker.com and click on Students and Graduates. We'd also like to thank Kettering University. Kettering University is where robotics students come for their education. Over 30% of those who attend Kettering University were in high school robotics, and you can keep going with their BattleBots, VexU, esports, and First Mentorship programs. If you are a U.S. student grades 8 through 12, scan the QR code to stay up to date on info and events happening at Kettering and get a free Kettering t-shirt when you sign up by December 12th, 2021.
So Siona, talk to me. We're going to start out with the intake here. Curious to talk about obviously some of the materials. We got some wood on this, and I'm also interested to hear about what's working, what hasn't worked for some of this material in the front here as well.
Oh yeah, so what we got is this wooden intake. We used wood since it's a cheaper material that we have a lot of. Then we also used this, I believe it's like medical tubing.
Yeah, like a surgical tubing?
Yeah, surgical tubing.
Sure.
Because it can grip the ball easily, and again, it's a cheaper material that we already had in the robotics room. So what happens is we start off with the intake like this, and then during the match, the momentum of the robot just propels it forward, so it goes down, and then the balls come up through here, and the motors move it so that the surgical tubing rotates and grips on the balls and intakes it up to here.
Was this the first iteration that you had of like your intake, like when you're looking at material choice?
Yeah.
Were you going with plywood in the beginning?
Yeah, we started off with the wood since again, we don't get as much funding as some of the bigger teams just because we're from a more rural area.
Yeah.
So we just have a lot of wood available, and our school's wood shop will provide us with wood if we need some.
Yeah, I'm always interested, when teams look at putting one in their bot, there's a lot of, reasons that teams look at it. Sometimes it's, money-wise, sometimes it just works better sometimes too.
Yeah.
So let's see a couple power cells actually come in to your robot here. We'll take a look just as they go in. So let's go ahead and feed those in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a good transition then, going over to Gabriel to talk about what you guys have leading up into your shooter. So we got a little bit of a funnel here going into your indexer and then your shooter as well. Talk to me a little about some of the mechanisms here.
Yeah, we have, once it enters the intake, originally we had this as flat, but the balls wouldn't get all the way to the belts over here, so we had to give it a slight incline, so they actually just rolled on down. And we went through a few iterations of this belt design. We started off having belts on the top and bottom as our plan, but we realized that might bind too much, so we eventually just went with the belts on top.
And then take me into your shooter here. So we have some of the wheels here as well too. Talk to me about what made you choose this type of wheel for your shooter.
We basically just looked at what we had on hand when we got to that part, and these worked. They grip pretty well, and we just put some screws right through the whole wheel.
And are you typically shooting lower port or upper port, or what are you shooting?
This is a low goal shooter.
Okay, so when you looked at the game, we've seen some very effective lower port shooters through this as well too. When you looked at what would work best for you, what made you choose to kind of go with a lower port robot?
We figured that was the best thing we could accomplish with the time and materials that our team had.
Well, fair enough on that. So 5046, thanks for taking the time to tell us a little bit about your robot here. Good luck at the qualifier event. And can't wait to see your team in future seasons as well. First in Michigan, cranking off some great teams, of course. And here's one of them here. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks to Kettering University for their support of this video. Don't just sit in class. Kettering University is the only school in the U.S. that allows you to work as an engineer your first year with their 3-month on, 3-month off co-op programs. If you are a U.S. student grades 8 through 12, scan the QR code to stay up to date on info and events happening at Kettering and get a free Kettering t-shirt when you sign up by December 12th, 2021. We'd like to thank Stryker for their continued support of First Updates Now. Stryker's internship portal is now open and available. Discover internships and rotational programs located around the world, including their headquarters in Michigan, when you go to careers.stryker.com and click on Students and Graduates. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.